All right, just get a ProArt display, done. Obviously that's not the video, but let's talk about choosing a monitor for content creation. Now the first thing we're gonna talk about is the color accuracy of the panel. It gets more and more important the more you color grade your footage. And I know there's gonna be a bunch of comments about if you know how to do color grading via scopes, you don't need a color accurate monitor. The problem is you really still need to watch the footage in color accuracy. There was a huge YouTuber who put out a video where a segment was completely screwed up because nobody watched it on an accurate monitor back through. So it's important that you actually watch your videos color accurately. I've got behind me two ProArt displays, and both of them are, well, Kalman certified to be color accurate. There's other panels out there. In fact, Craft Computing just put out a budget 4K Kalman certified monitor that's $400. So there's budget options out there, so don't think you just have to run out and buy a ProArt display. See, there are options out there. Now let's talk panel technology. Basically, you got TN panels that are garbage for, well, anything. They're really just bad panels. There's IPS, and then you've got the higher end, newer technologies that are, well, just really expensive and way more than what a content creator on a budget needs. IPS, in-plane switching, is probably the most mainstream technology, and that's really the sweet spot for picking a monitor at this point. You can go out and spend the really expensive money on higher end, newer technologies. We don't know long-term how those are gonna react. They're expensive. IPS is probably what the sweet spot. So let's talk monitor size. Now I've got three 27-inch monitors behind me. Me personally, I think that is the sweet spot for a monitor size. But I have three panels. Monitor size is really personal preference. Whatever works for you and your workflow is fine. It literally is fine. You get what you want, what you can afford. You know, if you want an ultra wide, curved panel, go for it. It really doesn't matter for anything other than your budget and what you want. So let's talk refresh rate. Your standard content creator doesn't need a high refresh rate screen. It's not needed. But if you game, a high refresh rate monitor is something that you probably do want. Now behind me here is a ViewSonic Elite monitor, which has a 144, 165 hertz display. It is actually really color accurate. It's not Kalman certified, but it is a good option. It gives you high refresh rate and very color accurate screen. Like I said, not as accurate as that one. So it's an option for, well, editing footage. So let's talk resolution. You got 1080p, you got 1440p, you got 4K, and it scales exactly like that. 1080 is the cheapest, 1440 is next up, and 4K is the most expensive until you get into 8K, and don't bother going to 8K unless you're really working with 8K footage. One of the things you should be doing though is you really should be editing in the native resolution that you film in. Going out and buying a 1080p when all you work in is 4K is counterproductive, but it's not actually that big of a deal. It's just you should be editing in 4K on your screen. I've been editing for a very long time in 4K on either 1080p monitors or 1440. Nobody notices any difference. I don't notice any difference other than the color accuracy changes from one monitor to the next. So do you really need 4K? No. Did I really need 4K? No. It's literally 4K versus 1440p, just pixels. Just a side note, the number of monitors is, again, personal preference, just like the monitor size. I prefer a lot of screen real estate that is segmented. You want to go to a full wide display, go for it. It doesn't matter. It's personal preference. I hope you found this video helpful. As always, hit record, hit upload. Thanks for watching. This is Creator Hardware.